Welcome to Wellywood Wargaming, where the grim dark never sleeps. Crack open a bottle of Wild Snake and spark up a low stick as we take a journey down Underhive.
Howdy Hive Scum, and welcome back to episode 4 in my Necromunda Alliance series. Today we're going to be looking at a bit of an outside bet here in the Imperial House. Now it's worth noting that the rules for this are in the Eranthian Succession Vaults of Temenos book, so you have to get hold of that. However, with the models just being previewed for these guys, it's worth noting that they probably will be included in the new book for the Enforcers. So, hold fire on going out and buying Eranthian Succession. You don't need that necessarily, as I do think that they'll be in that new Enforcer book. Now, unlike the other 3 sort of main sub-factions you have for the allies, we've got 6 in each, by the way. You've got the noble houses, you've got the criminals, and you've also got the, the guilds as well. These aren't any of those 3. These are the Imperial House. So you're allying with the Imperial House itself. So as is written at this point, this is the way they operate. However, these rules might change a little bit by the time the new Enforcer book comes out, so it's going to be interesting seeing that, but I think the stats and everything will remain the same, and you'll be able to use them in the same way that you can here, I'm sure, as well, if things don't change too much. So firstly, these are a law-abiding alliance. You must be a law-abiding gang to have these guys. You cannot be an outlaw. And the strong alliance for these guys is the Enforcers. So unlike any of the house gangs here, the strong alliance is actually Palanite Enforcers. So with the Palanite Enforcers, if you use these guys as an alliance, the first time you test the alliance, you just don't have to worry about it. You automatically pass. It's all good. It's all gravy. No worries. Now for the benefits. The first one is Imperial Appointment. When a gang allies with the Imperial House, they may select one of their territories or equivalent to be officially appointed as theirs by the Imperial House. The gang may perform the Collect Tithe post-battle action. What this does is it means that you can collect the boon and all of the stuff from that territory and extra time. Really, really, really good benefit, this one. Definitely worth thinking about. You can do this with lots of different territories as well to get all sorts of weird and wonderful boons. We then have the Enforcer bodyguards as well, and of course this means that you do get the companions as part of your crew as well. We're going to look at those in a second, so that is the other main benefit. Now for the drawbacks though. So the main drawback here is the Imperial tax. So during post-battle, if the gang has gained any credits as a scenario reward, the gang must give D3 times 10 credits to the Imperial House. If the amount rolled is greater than the amount gained, the gang must make up the deficit from their stash, or they must test the alliance. Alternatively, the gang can choose to keep its rewards, but must test the alliance. This is actually not a bad drawback, all things considered. It's far less nasty than some of the other alliances. Actually, D3 times 10 credits is sweet FA in most Dominion campaigns. You get lots and lots of credits. In fact, in most campaigns, D3 times 10 really isn't that much. So actually, as a drawback, as they go, this one is pretty weak. You don't have to worry about this too much. You're nearly always going to be able to pay that money, I think. Especially if you have a fixer in your crew to directly mitigate this. I thought they'd have more drawbacks, but it appears that is the only drawback at present, so it definitely is the least nasty drawback out of all of the drawbacks for the alliances so far. But let's have a look at the actual Enforcer companion models now that have been previewed on the Warhammer community. These guys look fantastic. They're not out yet. I'm sure they'll be out real soon though. You get 2 of these guys in the party and they're called the companions. They're really cool looking miniatures. Enforcers with plumes on their heads like Roman legionaries, as well as long fluffy trench coats as well, and they are armed with disintegrator weapons. Yes, disintegrator weapons. Those of you who picked up the Saturnine Horus Heresy box will have plenty of leftover disintegrator weapons, so you could easily kit bash some regular Enforcers, give them some great coats, and use some of the disintegrators from that box set, or you could go out and buy these miniatures. Either way, they're going to look fantastic. But yes, we have Dark Age of Technology weapons in Necromunda, and they are just as nasty as you'd expect. Like other alliances, you do get the 2 special rules, here to help and a band apart. A band apart means that if they do go out of action, they only count as out cold, as they've got their own sort of medics and doctors and stuff to look after their own. Also, the here to help means that you automatically get them extra to your crew. They count as they don't count as part of your crew, so you get them as extra fighters on top of your starting crew, which is pretty awesome, and they're free too. Now, the Palanite companions both count as exactly the same. They are identical and they're armed in exactly the same way as well. So the stats for these guys, you only get 2 of them, by the way. Movement 5, weapon skill 4+, ballistic skill 3+, so better than your regular enforcer. Strength toughness 3, 2 wounds though, initiative 4+, and attacks 1. So these guys are definitely shooters. They've got a leadership 5+, a cool 6+, a willpower 6+, and intelligence 7+. So pretty good mental stats as well. They come with a stub gun and layered flak armor with an armored undersuit and magnicals, as well as the disintegrator gun. This is awesome. It's 8 inches short range, 24 inches long range. By the way, this is the only way you can get any disintegration weapons in Necromunda so far. It's -1 to hit at long range though. You've got your ballistic skill of 3+, so it's kind of decent. It's strength 5, -3 AP, 2 damage, 6 up ammo, rapid fire 1, scarce and sever and unstable. So a lot to take in there. It is strength 5, so it's wounding, Goliaths and squats on 3s. It is -3 AP, so nobody's really saving that. Goes through like carapace armor like butter. It is damage 2, which is horrendous, but it also has rapid fire and sever. Sever is a disgusting trait in general, but especially when you put it on a gun in this case. So normally it's on a greatsword or heavy butcher's cleaver, something like that. This case is in a gun with rapid fire, strength 5, -3 AP, and 2 damage. I rest my case. However, it is 6+ ammo, it is scarce, and it is also unstable. So these things can blow up in your hand and just kill you outright. But what's not to like about the disintegration gun? High risk, high reward. Awesome, awesome gun. Now, in terms of skills, these guys come with Overwatch and Fearsome. Overwatch on that gun is really, really nasty, and Fearsome as well is just a nice skill to have. It stops people charging you as easily in combat and stuff. Let's have a look at the special rules as well, though. They've got peerless bodyguards here. If the fighter the Palanite companions are assigned to is hit by a ranged attack, the controlling player may choose to transfer the hit and all of its effects onto a companion within 2 inches. So it's exactly the same as the bodyguard rules for the other alliances here. And you're not going to want to do it because you want those disintegration guns in the game. They are so, so cool. That's basically it on the companions. They look cool, they are cool, and you could either go ahead and buy the Forge World set or make your own and use those disintegrator guns from Horus Heresy, because honestly, I'm not using mine because they're not for the faint-hearted in Horus Heresy either. In Necromunda, though, I would totally lean into this. And again, you could use these guys as, an outlaw or outcast gang leader party in some way as well. And they would be really interesting. I don't know if there's actually a points cost for them. I'll have to refer to the Vaults of Temenos for that. Again, let me know in the comments if there is a points cost for these guys or a credit cost for them to use in such a way. Which one is your leader? Which one is a champion? Which one is a ganger? I'm really not sure. It's a fairly grey area there, but you could absolutely do it. Maybe both of them could be your leaders. But just honestly, having 2 disintegrator guns in Necromunda in any way, really, if you can shoehorn them in, you should do it, because it's just ridiculous and it's funny and it's cool and it's got Sever. So there you go. That is the Imperial House Alliance. I know it's a little bit of a different one to the other 3, but I think this one often gets overlooked as it's in a book that not many people picked up. So, if you do have Vaults of Temenos, go back and have a look at these guys. Use them in your alliance and you will be happy using those disintegrators. Your opponent will not be happy. And that's it. I'll be back with another episode really soon. Peace out.